Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're going to have a look at Bitcoin and I suppose the market as a whole. I'm going to give quite a bold expectation of what I think is going to occur. And you probably noticed that there's not a little picture of me in the corner today. I'm not feeling very well. There's no need for you to see me in this state. Not that I look particularly bad, but and to be honest with you, this is how I prefer it. But it's statistically proven that channels grow more rapidly when they have a face to relate to. Do you know what I mean? So. This is going to be one of them videos where unfortunately no one can relate to me. So this is what I'm talking about with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is looking very good, looking very nice. The inside range we've broken out from. We're talking about these ranges as in accumulation ranges. The outside range is still, we're still within that. And it's been something we've been saying for ages now, since we came down into this and sort of started to play around within it. We're still accumulating, provided we're below $50,000. Until 50,000 is broken, that is the opportunity for the breakout, a break, a retest, and then hopefully a continuation of a trend. So, like I say, it's something that we've been talking about for ages, so no need to go into any more detail about it. Now, if we look a little closer, what we see is the money flow index and the RSI is quite high, especially the money flow index for Bitcoin, especially doesn't like being particularly high for Bitcoin. So to expect much more of a move from this, it's definitely possible. We could get to 50,000 and maybe beyond. But it would be very high at that point, depending on where the money flow index is reading. If it makes a brand new high or an all-time high on this daily chart, I'd expect a big dump after that, and that dump would correspond to the market because we all know that Bitcoin, leads the entire market, whether it's especially in the downs, So if Bitcoin comes down, the market's likely to come down, and that's what I expect will happen, right? But it doesn't mean that we're bear market or anything like that. It's just the fact that we've gone so far so fast. This has been quite a fast turnaround if you think about it. If we were to rewind maybe a couple of weeks, even I began to consider a bear market. There was at least a few days that went by when we closed this weekly candle below the Green 50 exponential. I did say I'm a little scared now. However, since then, turned around pretty fast. So I suppose that's the nature of these of trading, isn't it? Really, just as all the analysts make their decisions that maybe they were wrong after all, it all ended up okay. So for the moment, it's carrying on in this accumulation zone. So like I say, the money flow index is quite high. Usually helps us determine where a top area or a temporary peak at least is coming in. And we found that the other day when I said, look, the money flow index is very high over here. I'd expect a retrace, and we got 4 red days in a row. It's no big deal. It's really nothing to be scared of. It tells us where potentially tops would be. Doesn't mean that this is the top. That's when we would look at the weekly money flow index, or more and more and more. And as you can see on the weekly, this is a very, very, very bullish kind of setup. The money flow index is just started to turn up. The MACD is looking extremely good for a nice turnaround, going back into bullish mode, hopefully for the rest of the year and perhaps maybe into early next year as well. So I really do like the way that the weekly is looking, but I'm just talking about, I suppose, in the short term, if we move up to 50,000 and maybe even break above it, I can't entertain much more of an upside until we retest 50,000, prove it to be a support, and then we can go forward. But when the money flow index is looking quite so high, I would expect what's known as a liquidity grab, right? So lots of people going long, especially people, inexperienced people going crazy around about 50,000 and beyond, based upon the TA. We've got supports and resistances around there. Some people can't wait for a candle body close or a retest. They will go long regardless. We're at 50,000, let's go, I don't want to miss out. Oh God, wrecked. So it's what I would expect to see. So we'll move up, maybe even get rejected from 50, but even if we break above 50, I would expect a decent pullback. The pullback probably, given how bullish things are looking on the long term, with the weekly and everything like that, it would probably a significant dive down. So if we just turn the Bollinger Bands on for a second, the center of the Bollinger Band comes in at around about 40,000 today. Every day that goes by, this will be a little higher and a little higher. Every day that we're above 41,000 is a good day, and if that holds as a support, that's great. So I am a bold statement. Think we're going to move up towards 50,000. Either get rejected from there, have a break above it, and then probably have a decent retrace from there, based upon how far it's moved so fast. But it doesn't mean that I'm bearish or anything like that. I'm certainly not bearish. It's still well within the plan that, like I say, my preferred plan, which was that reaccumulation during this period, double bottom around this zone, and stay in this area, this large accumulation maybe for a few more weeks now. Maybe start to creep out of it next month. But one thing I was going to say about this entire event is that there's something else we need to look at, which is the Dixie, which is creeping up also. So the Dixie is also gaining strength. Hopefully would get a rejection around 93.5 thereabouts, or maybe a little higher, maybe 94 and a quarter. Get a rejection from there, but this does look like a bit of a reversal going on for the dollar. So the dollar looks like it's going to gain strength, and I would expect it to continue. This is the weekly. The daily, if you were to look at that, looks even better. Golden Cross incoming, in fact confirmed basically, and we're back in business for a continued uptrend. So yeah, we could talk about areas of 95, and the dollar's increasing. So not that this has the most dramatic effect on crypto, but historically it has had an effect. It has an effect on anything that's pegged against the dollar. And as we all know, we trade crypto mostly pegged against Tether, which is pegged to the dollar. So it's Bitcoin's value is determined largely by dollars. So if you're going to be trading anything that's valued in dollars on the most part, an increasing dollar value is going to have a negative effect, or potential negative effect, on the asset that you're trading. So Bitcoin may have a little bit of a I wouldn't say added downside, but the explosive move to the up is not likely to take place until we find a rejection on the Dixie, which might not come until 95. And if it breaks above 95, then yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Bitcoin to make those big gains that we've all been hoping for. But again, sometimes Bitcoin can move in the face of an increasing dollar value. The other thing I was going to talk about was altcoins. So this is Bitcoin dominance chart on the weekly, and we can see that we're finding rejections on the center of this Bollinger Band here on the 20 weekly. So the first rejection here had a nice pump for alts. Second rejection this week, having a bit of a pump for alts. Now we are getting sandwiched between this 20 moving average and this. I'd call it the make or break zone, really, to be honest. This line wasn't here before, but it certainly is now. About 45.5% dominant, right? If we break down below there, then it would spark an alt season much earlier than I expected. But for the moment, it's holding as support, and we're basically forming a triangle formation with this weekly chart. Whichever way it breaks will prove to be the most powerful, and whether that's Bitcoin to the up or altcoins to the down. Now, just bear with me on this one. If you watch my channel, you'd probably be aware of this. And this is the way it goes, basically, but you might not have heard me talk about it if this is something new to you. If Bitcoin dumps, then the market dumps with it, but very often what we'll see is in the face of a market dump, we'll see Bitcoin dominance increase. And if Bitcoin dominance increases and breaks above and holds above this 20 weekly, that means that Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, is going to continue to go up until the next level of resistance, which is marked off over here about 52, getting close to 53. And if that breaks, we're talking 57 to perhaps 58. So if my original theory of how the market's going to swing, which is that Bitcoin is going to push up and alts will be moving with it and outperforming it possibly, and then we get that liquidity crash, that liquidity grab, the dump basically determined by a peak on the money flow index as well, that will allow for the Bitcoin dominance chart to make a stab up above that 20 weekly. And if we close candle bodies above the 20 weekly, I think we will then move up to 52 to maybe 58% dominant over time, which means that Bitcoin is going to be the better place to be. I mean, it's definitely got the better chart than most altcoins. Ethereum is actually better, but generally it's a much healthier looking chart, Bitcoin, than any of the altcoins. Doesn't mean that you won't make more money on altcoins. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it's got a better chart and it's leading the market. But if we do get that dump, that I was speaking of, so we get a move up to 50% dominance or $50,000, or more, and then get the dump down to perhaps maybe the 10 exponential, or the $41,000, which would be a big move. Let's just measure that out from 50 to 41. We're talking 17% dump. Basically, what a liquidity grab is basically wrecking all the longs and then taking that money and putting it back into longs from a lower level with a very good position that you're likely to be able to ride up for a prolonged period of time, maybe for the rest of the year. And that's the sort of move I'll be expecting to see. So move up, dump, absolute epic positions which carry on for the rest of the year. But that will have a dramatic effect, I think, on altcoins overall, because they will dump harder when Bitcoin dumps, and then if we break above here, then they will struggle to outperform Bitcoin until we see a rejection on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not feeling very well, so I think I've rambled long enough, and hopefully that's made sense. I doubt you'll have made it to the end of the video, but if you have, please give us a thumbs up and let me know if you survived towards the end, and also let me know if you understood what it is that I'm saying, or if I've taken too many paracetamols and Lemsips. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.